Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Wish you all a very good morning, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Wish you all a very happy International Yoga Week. Yoga is a combination of art and science of healthy and balanced living. It has adopted a holistic and spiritual approach which targets the human body in its culmination of mind, body, and soul through exercise, mindfulness, and meditation. In contemporary times, we are all living in a fast paced and highly digitalized world where people have extremely busy professional and personal lives, which at times does not give them the opportunity or the chance to practice healthy living. And because of this, they develop a lot of health issues. This is, in fact, very common with women whose bodies go through so many changes. Keeping this in mind, today we have Bharti Goyal, a graduate of IIM Bangalore. She is the founder of Her Healthcare at Home, which focuses on providing world class services and products to expectant mothers all across India. On the occasion of International Yoga Week, we will be engaging with her one on one to understand the benefits of yoga for women. Hi, Bharti. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here with us.
Hi, Ashwin. Thank you so much for the introduction. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great. So, without further ado, I think we should begin this interesting conversation. I'm actually very excited to know so much about yoga and its benefits.
Yes, let's get started.
Okay. So, मेरा पहला सवाल आपसे ये है कि what was the motivation behind you starting your yoga journey? Like, क्या आपकी लाइफ में कोई कोई ऐसा मोमेंट था which was like which told you कि I should start exploring yoga in my life. So, if you could just tell us a bit about that.
Sure. I have personally been doing yoga since I was a kid. So, my mom does a lot of yoga. I remember doing it with her as a kid. And I used to take part in a lot of school activities related to yoga. But over time, like you get involved with your studies, exams, career, I lost touch with yoga as well. It was actually after my MBA, and I was working with a management consulting firm. And it was like, a typical very high stress job, and I could see a lot of people around me were suffering from chronic lifestyle related issues. I myself was falling sick a lot. My immunity was really low. That's when I decided to give up my corporate job and do what was do what I was passionate about, which was in the health and fitness sector. I started looking at women's health issues specifically, and especially around prenatal and postnatal health, because that's the time a lot of women go through a lot of changes in their body. And I think they need a lot of guidance, which is currently not really readily available. So, in addition to regular yoga, I also started specializing in prenatal yoga and also got certified as a childbirth educator. So, yeah, that was like my turning point.
थैंक यू सो मच। आई थिंक आपने बिल्कुल ठीक कहा कि हम अपनी लाइफ में इतने ज़्यादा बिजी हो जाते हैं कि वी डोंट इवन रियलाइज दैट देयर इज अ लाइफ अपार्ट फ्रॉम आवर वर्क एंड वी हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ आवरसेल्व्स एंड एट टाइम्स बिकॉज ऑफ ऑल दिस वी एंड अप कॉम्प्रोमाइजिंग आवर वेल-बीइंग एंड मेंटल हेल्थ। So I think you've rightly said that. And moving on to my next question, what are the most common health issues faced by women in today's times, and how do you think yoga helps mitigate that?
All right. So, based on my experience, I have seen women right now issues like PCOD. I have seen very common endometriosis, thyroid dysfunction, and during pregnancies, gestational diabetes. So, these are some of the issues I have seen have become extremely common among women these days, and most of these issues, in my experience, are lifestyle related. So, leading sedentary lifestyle, which is very high stress, not having healthy food, are some of the common causes of these diseases, which first leads to hormonal imbalance in the body, and then leads to these situations. Yoga basically helps in creating like a harmony between your mind, body, and soul. So it works not only on your internal organs, and helps to make them function better. It also helps your, like your pranayam and your meditation helps in creating a calm mind, which in turn helps in reducing stress, making you more positive, which is very important these days as well. Stress is one of the key factors leading to all these lifestyle related and chronic issues. So yoga helps both, on the mind and the body, for these.
Absolutely. I think you've rightly pointed out the issue at hand that uh, yoga is not just for our physical fitness, but it also internally targets a lot of other components that we don't even think about. So, and I feel a lot of health practitioners are these days also suggesting people to, indulge in adopting yoga and doing that, so that it is, apart from them becoming fit from that, their health issues can also get sorted to some extent. So I think you've rightly pointed that out to us. मेरा तीसरा सवाल है आपसे, speaking about postpartum and pregnancy yoga, what does it do to the body, and in what ways does it help expectant mothers or new mothers?
All right. So, pregnant women go through a ton of changes. So they have hormonal changes to help, to help the baby develop, to help with the pregnancy. Then as the baby grows, their center of gravity changes. So that leads to a lot of aches and pains, your back pain, your pelvic floor issues. As the uterus is growing, it starts pushing up on your abdomen and your diaphragms, which makes breathing difficult, digestion difficult. It is also pushing down on your pelvic floor muscles, which leads to issues like incontinence for moms, right? Constipation as well. So, all of these issues develop, and yoga is a very nice and gentle way to help create strength and stability in the body. So we have, like, I do classes which specifically target on specific issues. So we have asanas which help in developing core strength. So your abdomen, your back, your pelvic floor. Then we have asanas for creating space for the growing baby so that the moms are able to breathe better and have a better pregnancy experience. Towards the end of the pregnancy, we start working on hip opening and creating more space in the pelvis to make labor and delivery easier. Towards the end of the asanas, we also work on, your yoga nidra, your meditation during pregnancy to help calm the mind, which is important because pregnant women these days, they are working till their ninth month. They are not on a break. So it's full of pregnancies, full of anxieties, uncertainties, and they want that, time to just calm themselves down and relax. So it helps them in both the ways.
Absolutely. I just thought of one question when I was, hearing you talk about it. A lot of, as you said, a lot of expectant mothers these days are working till their ninth month. So, of course, and with all the changes that are happening in their body, their mental health is bound to get affected. They will face some challenges, and I mean, not all expectant mothers have support from their families, with their partners, and all. So, how would you say that yoga helps in sort of giving a sense of calmness or peace to expectant mothers who are facing mental health issues? And what sort of particular postures or asanas are there that target the mental health of an expectant mother?
See here, I can't say yoga is the solution to everything, right? So, especially for me, as somebody who's a yoga practitioner and a childbirth educator, we do put a lot of focus on getting the partners involved as well. That they need to be cognizant of the fact that all these changes are happening to your wife's or your partner's body, and they need to be helping out. The role of partner in labor, birth, postpartum depression is a very, very common issue as well. So the role of family and friends comes in a lot, and just doing yoga will not be the only solution. But in yoga, for example, I practice, we do meditation, we do pranayam practices, we have a lot of restorative asanas. So your supta padkonasana, there are asanas which we use a lot of props to support the mom so that she's not stressed while doing the asanas. The motive of prenatal yoga is not to push your body. It's to basically help you relax your body. So we have a lot of props which helps in getting the mom in a very nice meditative state, and just let her breathe and relax during the restorative practice.
Okay, that's really interesting to know. And if I may ask, what sort of props are these that you're referring to?
All right. So we have yoga blocks. These are like thick books. Uh, I can actually show them towards the end. And then we
Okay.
have a lot of pillows, your bolsters. We have these yoga belts. So for stretching your legs, because you have a big belly, so you can't reach your toes. So we have belts to help stretch the legs. We use wall support a lot. We use chairs a lot. So yeah, so we try to make all the asanas. So we do a lot of asanas which are regular asanas. We just modify them to make it easier for the moms.
Okay. And I would love to see the props towards the end of the session. I think
I
our viewers would really like that.
so
Okay. So moving on to my next question, have women come to you with different kinds of health issues, and how has yoga helped them turn a new leaf for them? Now, I do understand, as you said before, that yoga cannot solve all the health problems, but it can be one of the factors that influences your journey of starting a healthy lifestyle. So, if you could just give a brief about that and with few examples.
correct. So I have seen mostly for chronic issues, yoga has been very helpful. So in my personal experience, I have seen um, a lot of young women come for like menstrual cramps, pain, reducing pain during menstrual cramps. And generally, for the women who do suffer from these, it's a lifelong issue. And the easiest thing that you can do is, just pop a painkiller. I remember I used to do that a lot when I was working. You don't have any option. But, and sometimes it's okay. If the pain is extreme, it's fine to do that. But on a daily basis, I have experienced doing some gentle stretches which stretch your pelvic region, which helps in improving the blood circulation in the area. So there are gentle stretches you can do during your periods, and then there are other things that you can do through your menstrual cycle, which helps in reducing cramps as well as the pain you suffer during your periods. So one is menstrual cramps. Second, I have seen pain associated with endometriosis. So, endometriosis is a condition where the tissue that develops inside the uterus during periods, actually during your menstrual cycle, also starts developing outside the uterus. So, during the menstrual, when your period comes, and the bleeding happens, that bleeding is happening internally, which creates scar tissues and a lot of pain. And right now, there is no treatment for endometriosis other than surgery. So, doing some gentle asanas which help in improving blood circulation in the pelvic region has shown to help manage endometriosis pain. So, that's the second issue I've seen. Improvement in the function of thyroid hormone. So, your thyroid hormone is here. So, some asanas which actually put pressure and stretch your neck, your Sarvangasana, your camel pose, all of these asanas help in stretching the thyroid gland and help in improving the functioning. So I've seen people managing and improving their thyroid levels with yoga, diabetes as well. So yeah, these are some of the things for regular non-pregnancy related women's issue that I've seen. Yoga helps, and of course during pregnancy, I have specifically seen that women have swelling in the legs. They have leg cramps. So doing some gentle stretches with the props, like I was telling about the yoga belt, those can help in reducing specific issues like leg cramps during pregnancy, back pain, some stretches for back pain. So all of these things I have seen, yoga help in a very targeted way as well.
Great. Um, when I think about women, expectant mothers, and there are times when there are expectant mothers who have high risk pregnancies, or who are undergoing some sort of mental health challenges. So, in that case, do you have a customized yoga plan that you give out to them, or how do you? Because in high risk pregnancy, at times the doctor suggests and strongly recommends bed rest, so the movement is very restricted. So in that case, how do you sort of uh, plan the yoga workouts?
So right now, I don't have a specific program for high risk pregnancies. The reason being, yes, women with issues like low lying placenta, they can't really do all the yoga asanas. They can't sit on the floor. They shouldn't be stretching their pelvic floor muscles. So yoga for high risk pregnancies is not really recommended, and we don't practice that. But we do meditation, we do your pranayam practices, we can do some of the stretches while sitting on a chair, for example, for women with high risk pregnancies, and they can do some of the easier things with props. Yeah, so doing a full blown yoga class is not really recommended. And like, I am quite clear that when you come for my class, you have a clearance from your doctor that you are okay to practice yoga, because yeah, prenatal yoga is not really for extreme high risk pregnancies.
Okay. And in times when there are, complications that women develop during their labor, and of course, after that, also they are required to take proper rest and take care of themselves. I'm not going to say they are allowed to do full blown yoga, but I'm sure they, like, as you said, some form of yoga activities and stretching is allowed. So, in that case, what do you recommend to women with such
So we
conditions?
generally, for the first 6 to 8 weeks, we start with gentle walking. Basically, just walking, taking your baby out with a pram is what is recommended for the first 6 to 8 weeks. We start recommending Kegel exercises, because your pelvic floor really gets, there is perineal trauma after a vaginal delivery. So we start doing pelvic floor exercises, which can be done even like from third to fourth day onwards. You can start doing those. After that, depending upon the type of delivery you had, whether it was a vaginal delivery or a C-section, we slowly start a program. So, for example, an issue like diastasis recti, which is when the abdominal walls separate during pregnancy as the baby is growing, is very common. It happens in every one in three pregnancies. So we start working on exercises which help in healing diastasis recti, which is basically not putting pressure on the abdomen, but working on the muscles around it to help seal that gap. So there are a lot of variations you can start doing, which doesn't put direct pressure on the abdomen, but you can start building your strength back.
Okay. Moving on, the question is there anything that can aid a healthy lifestyle while doing yoga? And when I ask this, keeping in mind young girls who are also experiencing some form of hormonal changes in their body, expectant mothers, new mothers, or women who are having trouble conceiving. So, in that case, how do you recommend a particular lifestyle for them? Like, just a few general tips.
Sure. So yeah, it is a very general misconception that yoga is just a bunch of asanas. I do every 30 minutes. I do for 30 minutes, 1 hour every day, and everything will be fine. So I get a lot of these queries that, okay, ma'am, क्या करूं मैं कि बस ये ठीक हो जाए वो ठीक हो जाए. So that is not really true. Yoga is a way of life. So if we read the old scriptures, it's a way of life. And when we talk about health, what are we talking about? We are talking about कि we want to be physically fit. That's the number one goal, right? Physically fit and strong. We want to be mentally calm, and we want to be emotionally balanced. So when you're talking about health, these are the three things we are looking at. And in yoga, there's a very nice concept called short, it's short the short is AVAV, which stands for Ahar, Vihar, Achar, Vichar. So these are like your four pillars of health in yoga. So Ahar is your diet. Yoga tells you what to eat, how much to eat. So you should be having your sattvic healthy diet, which is fresh, which is healthy, not very oily, not very spicy. You should be eating when you're hungry. So you should not be eating just because time ho gaya, kha lo, bhook hai ya nahi hai. You should be chewing properly. So this is your ahar, a healthy diet for wellness. Then the second one is your vihar. Vihar is basically your rest and recreation. Um, you know, resting your body properly is as important as physical activity. In our very hectic lifestyles, we tend to forget resting. रात को 11 बज रहे हैं 12 बज रहे हैं, we have to we keep working, we keep pushing ourselves. Netflix देखना है, we have to finish that series even though you want to fall asleep, but you have to keep going on. So resting properly, getting a good 7-8 hours of sleep is very important. Recreation is basically for your emotional health. Every day you should be engaging at least in 30 minutes to 1 hour of activity which makes you happy. So any hobby, you go dancing, you go for a game, watching TV is not a hobby. So that right, so that is your ahar and vihar. Second, the third one is achar. Achar is your daily routines. So having a daily routine is also very important, not having a erratic lifestyle. So get up on time, exercise on time, eating on time, sleeping on time. That balance sort of makes sure that you have this mental balance ki हाँ मुझे पता है what was going to happen. And the last one is vichar. Very important. You are doing everything right, but your vichar is not good, which is you are not thinking properly. You need to have a positive thinking. You need to stop being overly judgmental about others. You have to stop ego sort of dominate everything that you're doing. So yeah, I really like this concept. Ki you have these 4 pillars, and you have to sort of make sure that all of them are balanced for a healthy, holistic lifestyle.
That's really interesting to know. And I think listening to you talk about all this, matlab, I have sort of a few questions that I want to follow up with you on. So my first question is ki, I mean, has there ever been a case where a woman who's come to you, or you've encountered a case where they have trouble conceiving, and yoga has sort of helped them as one of the sort out their health issues? Of course, there can be many reasons why people have trouble in conceiving, and so I just want to know, does can yoga be one of the things that sort of helps them in achieving
See,
that?
I have personally like seen, even for myself, I was detected with PCOD about 5 years back, right? And I used to think I am very healthy, like at least physically. I used to think even when I was in a very high stress job, I was like, "Acha, I go to the gym at least. I am healthy." But specifically for pregnancy, I wouldn't say, because most of these days, all the experiences I've seen, that if a woman, they have a couple has been trying for a year, and if they can't conceive, generally the is like the most common option they go for is going for an IVF treatment. So yeah, sometimes if like there are a lot of other factors which play into infertility, your age, your yeah, so a lot of other things, and it could just not be the woman, it could be the partner as well. So all of these things come in, but other conditions which lead to infertility, for example your PCOD, which is one of the most common issue for infertility, can be managed very well with a yogic lifestyle. So PCOD can actually be reversed, like if you start doing yoga, you start practicing, you start eating healthy, you start having a stress free lifestyle, those issues can be managed, and that in turn can make sure that you don't have these long term repercussions.
That makes so much sense. And I think I remember reading an article where they said that influence of Ayurveda and yoga can actually help people experiencing any kind of issue, health issues, be it trouble conceiving, be it mental health issues, or be it any form of other conditions, can actually help in significantly overcoming that as a challenge over a period of time. So I think you've rightly pointed that issue out to us. Another thing is that एक ये बहुत बड़ा मिसकंसेप्शन है लोगों को कि लार्ज बॉडी पीपल या प्लस साइज जो लोग हैं दे आर नॉट फिट, that they are unhealthy, and and I've seen a lot of these influencers on Instagram who are promoting body positivity and everything, and I mean, from their experience, they talk about how they are very healthy, but just because people have this assumption कि भाई because they are a lot large bodied person तो ये unhealthy है. So how does yoga as a lifestyle sort of एक तरीके का myth busting किस तरीके से कर सकता है ये?
See, yoga will never say कि thin person is fit person, right? Yoga is going to say कि if you are happy, इफ आपको भूख अच्छी लगती है, अगर आप एक्सरसाइज अच्छा करते हैं, अगर आप खुश हैं, सो यू आर हेल्दी. So that is the concept yoga basically promotes. So there is nothing like, I have seen loads of very thin people who are extremely unhealthy also, right? आपका थायराइड दोनों तरफ से जा सकता है, आपका हाइपर भी हो सकता है, आपका हाइपो भी हो सकता है. एंड वेरी थिन गर्ल्स ऑल्सो हैव मेंस्ट्रुअल इश्यूज एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. सो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि I have seen very, as you said, large-bodied people also being, having a very nice, healthy life, eating healthy, and their body is used to a certain weight, and if it is working fine, it is perfectly fine. So there is no issue, like there's no ideal weight. As long as you are able to function well, you are healthy, you have a positive thinking, you are eating well, everything is okay.
Absolutely. I think because हमारी सोसाइटी में there's such a taboo that एक अगर प्लस साइज पर्सन है वो अनहेल्दी है और अगर थिन पर्सन है तो वो दे आर वेरी हेल्दी. बट एज यू सेड कि उल्टा भी हो सकता है. अ लार्ज बॉडीड पर्सन कैन बी अ हेल्दी पर्सन एंड अ थिन बॉडीड पर्सन कैन हैव अ वेरी अनहेल्दी लाइफस्टाइल. And I have seen medical practitioners and doctors say that yoga karo, you lose like 10 kgs in 2 months. And it is such a, like, for young girls and young women, there are times that they get influenced by that, and I feel that is such a like unki health ke liye itna zyada, it can be so bad for that. And I mean, I just hope that there are people who research into this and they're more conscious of the kind of lifestyle that they adopt, so that they don't have lasting health repercussions. And another thing is that a lot of times we come across people who have practiced a very healthy lifestyle. They do yoga, they take care of their well-being, they have a good job, everything in their life is going well. It's at a point where things are very stable for them. Still they develop mental health challenges, and oftentimes in drastic measures they choose suicide as a option. And a lot of people say कि if this person was doing so many good things and सब कुछ लाइफ में ठीक था, योगा कर रहा है, मेंटल हेल्थ के बारे में ही इज अवेयर, लाइफ में सब ठीक है, तो क्यों उन्होंने ऐसे किया? सो लाइक, डू यू थिंक यू हैव एनीथिंग टू से ऑन दिस और कमेंट ऑन दैट?
See, here I would say obviously something was not right for them to take that extreme step. Outwardly, you can look perfectly fine. You are fit, you are in a very good job, you're earning well. But internally, what could be going on in a person's mind, you don't know. In yoga, they teach us this concept of anitya bhav, which is basically you need to start getting detached with things. So when people take such actions like suicide, it's obviously something or someone has triggered them. They're superly attached to something. They have either lost somebody, or somebody has said something, or so this anitya bhav concept is being detached ki theek hai, you are, um, don't become too happy with something, don't become too sad with anything. Everything is transitory, and it will pass. This too shall pass. That saying that this too shall pass, you need to keep repeating that, and just being aware of that is not enough. You need to practice that in your daily life. So there are techniques in yoga, which teach ki every day, when sometimes you're in the traffic and somebody is honking, you are angry, you have to get somewhere, so that should trigger, what, 5 minutes late ho jaunga, it's fine, I'm going to reach there, and this is transition, this is going to pass. So you have to keep practicing that कि बहुत गुस्सा नहीं होना, बहुत वो नहीं होना, stable रहना है. There are a lot of different techniques. There is self reflection that you can do every day. At the end of the day, you think of all the things that made you happy and the things that made you unhappy, and you try to over time take out the things that make you unhappy. If it's somebody which triggers you, if it's something that triggers you, try to see if there is a way that you don't interact with that person maybe. So try to over create a cycle of positivity in your life. So yeah, there are a lot of things in yoga which can help people achieve, mental well-being as well.
True. That's, I think you've captured the essence of the answer so well. And I hope that, people who are listening to this can actually learn from this and reflect this component in their lives. So we are almost at the end of our conversation. Before we end, I want to ask you, what would be few tips that you would like to give to young girls, women, and in general people about having and practicing a healthy lifestyle?
I would say that, you know, that it is more difficult, like it's easy to say and difficult to practice, but you need to remember that life, you don't need to wear like a crown of thorns, as they say, in your life. Every stage of your life is meant to, is what it is meant to be. And you just need to make sure that, you know, you're just, yeah, thinking positively, you are eating well, and you are not letting things affect you too much, to, you know, lead a healthy lifestyle. I would say just, yeah, follow a routine, have exercise daily, sab kuch balance mein karo, and you will, you know, get through. If you're facing an issue, you will get through it.
True. I think balance is the key for a lot of things.
Correct.
And I think I've learned so many new things today in this session from you. And I'm going to just go back and I think look up all of it in more detail. So
Great.
thank you so much, Bharti, for joining us today and enlightening us about the benefits of practicing yoga and its positive impact on the well being of our body. And I hope today's panel discussion will act as a motivation, and hopefully, all of you can start exploring your yoga journey soon. So that it helps you find a sense of satisfaction, contentment, and happiness. And we at Daily Hunt and MASH thank you for being a part of today's session. Stay tuned for more informative yoga sessions on yoga and well-being tomorrow on the occasion of International Yoga Day right here. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and thank you so much.